Hello everyone, I Dr. Shilpi Chauhan and welcome you all at my channel Awareness with Saksham. And today we have an expert with us, Dr. Randy Lanozo, who is the Corporate Director of Academics, Georgie Ilagan International Schools, uh, Mindanao, Philippines. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shelfie, and to all the viewers of Dr. Shelfie's channel. Good evening, good day, and mabuhay greetings from the Philippines. And thank you for having me today, Dr. Shelfie.
Yes. So today we have a discussion, a very warm topic, empowering women, inspiring change, advancing equity for a sustainable future. So this is a conversation between with us. So first, my question is that what does true empowerment for women look like in today's global context, and how far have we come?
Well, thank you for that very nice question, Professor. Indeed, this platform is really very great to all of us, especially for those women out there listening or watching your channel. And to that question as to uh, what does true empowerment for women look like in today's global context, and how far have we come? Well, true empowerment means that women can thrive with dignity, autonomy, and equal access to opportunities, whether in education, leadership, or livelihood. This is true, indeed, more on inclusivity, trying to making the world a better place for everyone, not just for men, but also for women, and to all. Sometimes we can also blame others for some issues with gender or sexualities, their preferences, and all that. In the Philippine context, we've seen powerful examples of women leading in politics. Maybe all over the world, we're known. Our country is known for having so many politicians who are women. Also those women leading in education and even the grassroots governance. And however, empowerment must go beyond the urban centers. Okay, so it should reach every Filipina or every woman in the world to have someone to represent their place, their the grassroots, or their locality, their community, and also here, even in fact in the Philippines, many people, or like many of our teachers, are really from rural areas, and many teachers are really women, and they represent well a larger group in our society. And I know also that it's also one of the context that even other countries are having right now. Yeah.
Okay, so sir, in your opinion, how is gender equity linked to sustainability and the future of our planet?
Um, well, for example, the Filipino women, especially in agricultural and coastal communities, where example, my city, which is the General Santos City, is a coastal area. That is why I always wanted to share what our culture,
Yeah.
as Filipinos. Yeah. So Filipino women, especially in coastal communities, are guardians of local knowledge and environmental resources. And as I said, they're really well represented. Certain sectors or areas or fields in industry, where also they can maximize of telling everyone the importance of our agriculture, our coastal areas, of our as a whole the environmental resources. So when empowered, they become active stewards of sustainability. So that means to say, whether through clean energy, organic farming, or even disaster preparedness. So gender equity allows us to harness the full potential of the half population in protecting our environment. So without women, our vision for sustainable future will always be incomplete.
Yeah.
And I always believe that, women are really into, when we heard about the women empowerment, it actually anchored with, environment. It anchored with the natural resources. It anchored with even the children, because they're always the advocate of this, kindness, sustainability, and environmental protections. Yeah.
Okay. So, according to you, sir, what are the challenges women faces in the working place? If you are talking about the private sector or government too.
Yeah. Well, this is also happening not just only in our country, but across the globe.
Yeah.
One of which is we can also, feel, or like, we can have some examples of discrimination.
Hmm.
In a corporate level, there's also limited access to top level management roles. And also many also carry the dual burden of work and caregiving at home, because they always have that connotation. When they heard about women, they are always, they're always also anchored with the caregiving, things. And both actually in public and private sectors, this has something to do with the implementation of the gender sensitivity policies, like flexible work arrangements. Maybe they can also pay maternity and paternity leaves, though our country is doing that. Of course, the safe workplaces and the transparent promotion system, which of course, it will allow the women also to strive more, to get demotivated, and to do more, and become better and better to help our society as a whole. And accountability starts with data, regular equity audits, and maybe a shift in workplace culture. And as I said, this is not just only in my country, but also across the globe, which is, and the discrimination in everything, stuff like that, is really prevalent, and a lot of women is suffering to that. But as I said, it has something to do with the company policy and the government policy, and something that they need also to put into place, so that they will also be heard. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, how can we ensure that women's voices are not just heard, but actively shape policy and decision making at all levels?
Sorry, what was the question
So,
again?
I'm talking about the women voice. How we can ensure that
The
women
women
voices are not just heard, because actively shape policy and decision making at all levels.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true.
Hmm.
That's really, another challenge for us, people, especially people in the position, how to hear or listen to the voice of women. That is why, as I said, there's something to do with the policies that we have right now. If we in place properly the policies, in the government or even the private sector, that it should be part of the whole, maybe the code of ethics, the code of conduct, the human resource practices, that they need to integrate in telling everyone that, women have their own, they have their privileges, they have their opportunities, they have also something that they can contribute to the society. Then there is no way for other people not to follow. If we are strict about, our policies, our laws, our, regulations, I know that everyone will be heard, not just only women. Sometimes we have also some discriminations with, about the culture. So all of these are actually part on how our policy makers will do their job, how they implement these rules and regulations and laws, so that there will be fairness and justice in all that we do. Yeah.
Okay, so if we are talking about gender equality, so according to you, how important is it to include man and boy, in conversation around gender equity, and what strategies work best?
Yeah, very important, very important. Really very important that to include men and boys in conversations around gender equity.
Yeah.
And and this is actually a very good platform that you're doing right now, Professor.
Yeah.
Inviting me to speak, yeah, to speak about women.
Yeah.
For other, for some channels, maybe they will just be inviting women because they will always believe that they will supplement or complement your
Yeah.
channel,
Yeah.
your topic in everything. But really very important also to hear the perspective of men about women empowerment.
Hmm.
And this is, as I said, this is really very important because I know that, in fact, I'm so aware of, why other people are doing this, just like what you are doing right now. And when you invited me about to talk about this and to have this conversation, I always reflect of myself how I respect my mom, my mother,
Yeah.
and my sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, you see. So it's only, those who are kind, those who have this respect to their mothers, those who have this respect to their siblings, especially sisters,
Hmm.
will fully understand, you know, the efforts and the role of women in the society. So in our culture, especially in the Philippines, values are passed on through family, and boys often look up to their fathers, uncles, and older brothers. That's why we must model respect and equity from the household to the community. And programs, maybe programs in schools, churches, and barangays that teach respectful relationships. And aside from that, gender sensitivity, as I mentioned a while ago, and shared responsibilities are really very essential. So when men stand as allies, we also build a more inclusive nation. So that's why I am so happy and so fortunate to have this conversation with you, Professor, because it truly proves, for those, if my mom and my sisters are listening and watching your channel, they will also be feel special, and as they were also
Yes.
recognized someone or people who are also contributing to the society. Yeah,
Okay. So, in the last, I would like to know what is your opinion. What bold steps should governments and global institutions take to ensure a more equitable and sustainable future for all? I'm not talking about only women. I'm talking for future for
yeah,
all.
yeah. So governments must treat gender equity not a side issue,
Yeah.
but a central or a foundation, part of the foundation to a national development. So this means, funding women-led programs, enforcing anti-discrimination laws, not just enforcing, but make sure that strict implementation of these discrimination laws, um, expanding the healthcare access to all, inclusivity, and investing in education that empowers women from a young age up to, even after bachelor's degree or graduate studies. So globally, institutions must support nations like, of course, our country, Philippines, India as well, in bridging inequalities.
Mm-hmm.
So especially for rural and indigenous women. And a sustainable future depends on equity. And equity begins with bold and deliberate leadership. So everyone, it's a call to action, especially to the government, who sets rules, who implements policies, who implements laws to ensure that they empower everyone, not just only women, but everyone in the society. Everyone will be heard, and make sure that they are also motivated or inspired to contribute and to become our countries, the greater countries around the world. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so uh, as per our earlier discussion, we need to close our conversation right now because we have a lot time limits. And I'm feeling very proud after listening your words about the women. What is the image you have in your mind? It is very great and wonderful, sir. And thank you so much in the bottom of my heart, and to give your valuable time and your thoughts. And I personally request to my all audience just to listen the full video and must share with your dear one, especially sister, mother, and your wife too. So thank you once again, sir. I would like to connect
Thank
once
you.
again in future with another topic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you so
Have
much,
a
sir.
great day.